steel and gears. It pulls you in and doesn't let go.
Okay, hello. Welcome to the Carousel Podcast. We are recording here on a Wednesday in the late afternoon. I have with me today Jesse Larkins and King Cringe, the hosts of Subverting Subverters.
Yeah, close it all. The SS
Subverting
boys.
Subversion.
It's okay. We to get the name wrong. Yeah.
It should just be called It's the Jews. It is the Jews. That's what you guys are trying to get across there.
Well,
Wow.
actually, it's not.
It's actually not the Jews. Okay.
Well, it's
forget
like
what I said.
I don't know if we want to get into it, but like I watched your podcast last time with Zachary Cohen, and
Yeah.
you made a very good point about how it's very Jewish to like subvert things, in art, and
In a good way.
I
said that in a good way.
Sure. But
I mean, in ours, good and bad.
in our sense, it's an ideological movement to subvert the subversion, because I feel like a lot of right-wing people, when they talk about art, they're always talking about the past or how do we go back to 1950s. And when you make art that way, it's like a fundamentally different idea than the mindset of we're going to subvert subversion. And I think that opens up many more possibilities than just going back to the past, So that's like the emphasis of what our podcast is about.
Wait, so what does that mean exactly? How explain what you mean by that?
Yeah. So this might take a long monologue before you get into
All
it, but so there's this guy that I follow called Errolson Hugh. He's like a founder of a tech word company called Acronym. Okay. And basically he's obviously left wing, but it doesn't really even matter. He is a small like boutique clothing company that fights against Nike in terms of large distribution, all that kind of stuff. And it's not basically just him, but it's the concept of asymmetrical warfare. And so his big thing is like, what big advantage do you have that other companies don't have, right? And if we look at that from the left wing space, there's two, I think, obvious answers to that question for the right wing for us. And the first one is politics. And I know most right wingers don't like this. They're always saying, keep politics out of art, and all this kind of stuff. But if you see how culture is going, like with Sam Hyde or like Nick Fuentes, stuff like that, it's clear that this is an area of art that we can easily and quickly dominate, and leftists can't replicate it. It's unreplicatable. You know what I'm saying? And then,
who are the subverters? So there's, as you know, I am Jewish. I don't hate the Jews. I maybe did at one point, but I learned to not hate them, and I accept my Jewishness, and I think it's actually great. I mean, I think there's plenty of good things about it. So who are the subverters? Who are the actual subverters that you are subverting, and how are you subverting them?
I would say in general, they're like Satanists, because obviously you can always click up like early names, right? But there's plenty of other people and stuff like that, you don't even have to go for the race. It's mostly what they're doing. And it's the people who don't like white people who don't like Western civilization, things like that, I don't know if you have a different opinion, Jesse, on who you think.
Well, I think leftism has kind of a tyranny art. I think most of the mediums are pretty dominated by leftist rhetoric, and so But the thing is that they're kind of misconstrued as this uninhibited party, the party of unrestrained impulses and stuff like that. But they're actually not at all. They flirt very safely with extreme topics, but they're themselves cowardly and afraid to actually push boundaries and see through to the other side where art can possibly go. And because they're afraid of that, they put up all these safety guidelines and stipulations that people have to abide by if they want to talk about any certain topic in their art, if they want to cover it in any specific way.
Right.
And I just think that's completely counterintuitive to the point of art.
Yeah.
I feel like since they have presented themselves in this way, which they are failing to capitalize on, it's kind of up to like right wing hippies almost to take up the mantle and produce the art that the leftists are too afraid to produce, that they think that they are producing, but they're not.
Yeah. Well, I think you're right. I mean, I think that that's pretty much what's happened, right? Is that the left has abandoned its ability to go over the edge. And well, they try to go over the edge, right? And they are going over the edge now with their violence. I mean, I always think about this movie. I of course did not see it, but it was called How to Blow Up a Pipeline.
Oh,
You did see it?
Yeah, I saw it. And it was conflicting because I thought, the tension was very well executed, but obviously the framework behind it is you following these lefties committing an act of terrorism, domestic terrorism, and the movie doesn't try to tell you like you should be rooting for them or something. It's more just like, isn't this like a fucked up thing that they're carrying out?
Oh, so
it
it's
was kind
not
of
super
conflicting.
like rah rah. It's not like in favor of them.
Not uh not to the extreme that it probably presents itself as.
Right, with the title.
It's one of those movies where it's like a lefty can watch it and feel totally vindicated and make that their anthem movie.
Yeah.
But I think that would also kind of be doing slightly a disservice to the movie because it does show them as kind of um uh just making commotion for the sake of it, and it really not actually accomplishing any of their
Okay,
true
so it
goals.
is kind of two-sided. Well,
A
I
little
think
bit, yeah.
I think what we're experiencing right now is so the left knows in its heart that it fucked up horribly by becoming the censors. It knows that, and it knows that that's why it lost, because you're absolutely right. The whole point is the left lets you, get your dick wet, basically. The left lets you do all the stuff that hedonistically satisfies you momentarily. And as soon as the left stopped doing that and became the whining nannies, pretty much nobody really liked that. Besides the legions of women who run entertainment and marketing, pretty much no one actually liked that was going on. Nobody was like, yay. A lot of people took it and a lot of people dealt with it because they're game players, and that's fine. But nobody liked the censorship. I mean, God, you go back, I was just watching Seven.
Oh my God.
Is like really based. There's every bad word is in it. Brad Pitt says all the bad words that you're not supposed to say. And it's like, damn, like you have to imagine that somebody like David Fincher and whoever wrote that, once the censors came around and said, "Oh, you can't say these words anymore," they had to be like, "That's so stupid, man."
Yeah. Well, and
Sorry, go ahead.
especially that scene where I guess we'll get a little graphic with it, but the guy who was raped by the blade in the
It was a girl.
that do it.
It was
Oh,
a girl.
I thought it was the wait. Did a girl do it to him?
No, he did it to the girl at gunpoint.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I mean, that scene's amazing, but I
Yeah.
guess I forgot the context.
That movie is so good. That's
Oh
an
my God.
astoundingly good movie.
Yeah. Way just unbelievable. Truly.
Yeah.
He's a master, truly. But yeah, like a scene like that, would have been workshopped to death or completely eliminated nowadays. I mean, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo has an infamous rape scene, and the censor boards and even his producers were giving him so much pushback on that. But he's like, look, this is just reality. Like I have to present. I'm an artist, and I have to present the way things are as it is, and it's gonna feel uncomfortable. That's okay. Art should make you feel uncomfortable. It should go to dark places. And also know that you're in trusted hands because that guy gets his comeuppance or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like he's willing to go to those dark places and show you them with complete unbarred honesty because he knows like that's what you as a participant of the artistic experience needs in order to endure what he's creating. Like that's the intent.
Yeah, and I also think you bring up a very good point, Jesse, about how they hate reality. And this goes into the point, Isaac, where you were talking about like the hedonism, where why is the left making things ugly? It's because they, from a political sense, need equality. Because beautiful people that you can jack off to implies inequality, right? And so that's like the cutoff. They can't stand that reality. People like looking at hot chicks, shit like that. So that's why they're all sucks, basically.
Well, I think a lot of that also was my take on wokeness is that what wokeness was not the ideology of the managers. Like, it's not like the people calling the shots at Lionsgate Pictures
Yeah.
are super far leftists. It's that their coolest friend is a super far leftist. And so when they need a little juice, they need a little spice. The only place they can go is to that super far leftist. That's the only place that they can get the aesthetic. Dude, there's something like really this. Do you guys hear this mic thing? I don't know whose mic it is, but somebody's mic is like giving like feedback. I don't know who
Maybe
is
it's
doing
my
that.
mic. Is it my mic?
Yeah, here, try muting for a sec. Try muting. Sorry, everybody at home. Well, one of you try muting, and then are you muted, King Cringe? Hello, hello. Yes, you are. You talk, Jesse. Nope, now you're muted.
Perfect.
Okay, now you do it, King Cringe. You talk really
Hello.
quick.
Yo,
Okay,
yo.
it's you, Jesse. Jesse, it's you. You fuck. You fuck.
Oh,
Come on.
Wait, you can still hear it even if I mute it?
Yeah, it's fucked up. No, it was when it stopped when you muted it. That's how I could tell. Your mic is fucked. Anyway, try to switch it or something. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Oh, it's on your phone? Is that why?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all right. Well, whatever. Just try to talk closer to it or put headphones on or something. It's fine. So it's not a big deal. It's not that bad. So don't worry. Gordon says, waiting patiently for the review of the Will Stansel show and the announcement of Will Sora AI animation company. Okay. I don't know what any of that means, but thank you, Gordon. So back to the discussion of art. So yeah, okay. No, as I was saying, I think that these things it's not like, and I think that that's the mistake. I think the right thinks that the ideology of the leftists in these positions is far left. I think that that's actually pretty rare. I mean, I think it's just the thing they do to be cool, right? It's like when you're going on stage to give your Oscar speech or Emmy speech, like this Jewish girl just did and shit on Israel. Hilarious. And she wants to do something. She's got to do fucking something, right? And the only thing they can do is be super far left. And so that's why they started cutting their boobs off and getting face tattoos, because they couldn't go any further left. That was as far as they could fucking go. Like the reason you started getting fat girls in Calvin Klein ads, fat black girls, is because that they simply had no edge. They fell over the edge on the left. And so there was no edge left. There was nowhere to go because the only place to go was right. Because they'd gone as far left as you can possibly fucking go, at least biologically speaking, right? To the degree where every single ad now has a legless fencer in it. You got to get a fencer in with a wheelchair because that's it. We're at the end. We're at the end of the fucking road.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a really good point, which is, like, in my experience, at least, the money men really do care about the money,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah, I agree.
like, it's like the 90% of the artists in most creative industries are the fucking problem. You know, they're the ones that are, like, on Blue Sky, talking about how much they love killing Charlie Kirk, all that bullshit, so, like, if you cleared out most of the artists, that would get rid of a lot of problems, but the flip side is in, like, unfortunately, not a lot of right wingers are talented, and you get into a kind of a catch-22 on that front. So,
Yeah, and well, the studios are responding to the culture constantly, and because their biggest insecurity is protecting their investment whenever they shell out a fuck ton of money on some major project. So they are, they will workshop and HR think and group shop it to death until it feels like it has met all of the perfect requirements to not cause any conflict or like the very specific kind of conflict that can be managed for clickbait or something like that, but it's mostly so it's not to agitate anybody and to be perfectly safe to just
Yeah.
return on that investment.
Yeah, I mean, look, I will say that I think the right being on the outside doesn't always see the fact that all great creators are compromise, right? They all compromise. It's not the purity of vision is never what it seems, ever. Probably the purest writer ever is Bukowski. And I'm a huge Bukowski fan. And I've read everything he's ever written. And one of the things I've read is his letters. And he appears very pure and he is very pure in his art, but he's so focused on his career, man. Like he's sending letters to his agents, to publications, but he is fucking on it, man. Like he is doing the work behind the scenes. And you hear that about Paul Thomas Anderson too. Paul Thomas Anderson is this really pure visionary. He doesn't, do commercial stuff at all. But then you hear that from age 12, he was the most ambitious kid anybody ever knew. He was like, I am going to do whatever it fucking takes. The Steve Sealer wrote a great review of One Time After Another, One Battle After Another, and it's got this in it. And it's like, that's really telling. So I think these people, that's what the right misses, in my opinion, more than anything, is that the right misses that there's so many compromises. There's so many compromises that you have to make to get your art out there. And left-wing people, for whatever reason, are just much more willing to make those compromises, I would say.
do you mean, like, compromises? Because, like, I've applied actually to a lot of right-wing publications, and most of the times I just never hear back, and I'm like, is it because I have, like, the Nazi communist girl on my front cover? Like, it's because I just,
No.
I I mean, like, my drawing ability is actually pretty good, so I'm just
Oh,
confused as
you've applied to be a illustrator?
I didn't apply, but, like, there was a contest for,
Yeah.
a right-wing publication, then they were like, "Oh, this is interesting," and then they, like, never called me back, and I'm like, "Well, I think I'm like, okay, maybe you don't like my style or something, like, but I'm pretty good." So it's just confusing to me sometimes, and, like, I'm like, is it the sex? Like, I feel like a lot of right-wing people are like, "These are our beliefs," and if you have, like, one sex scene, like, you're a leftist and we can't do it. It's like, "Bro, like,
Yeah.
it's art,
There's a
man."
lot of that. There's a lot of that.
So,
So, yeah, sorry. Go ahead,
Well,
Jesse.
no,
I
I
was,
didn't
I
have
was just gonna say that's definitely probably the more extreme that's become is probably just a response to what they view as the leftist lack of any sort of morality. So it's them trying to, return to some sort of normal state, by reinstating those morals that they feel like have just been disappeared by the West or something.
Hmm. So what do you guys ostensibly have a podcast about right-wing art. So what is right-wing art?
have I actually ever thought of that?
Well,
But yeah.
It's
well,
Creed.
because we've
Just
had people
Creed.
on that aren't. I feel like we've had a few people that aren't like strictly right wing, but
Yeah.
the thing that connects everybody, at least that we have on, is that their art isn't like restrained by anything in particular. They don't.
But
They're
that
not.
is so not right wing, right? I mean,
Yeah.
in my opinion, that is right wing, but not for any of the reasons people think, right? I mean, it's like So anyway, sorry. Keep going. So yeah,
Well, I
what
think-
is right
I
wing
think-
art?
Well, I think it's like